In this video, we will discuss about close-packed structures in solids. Close-packed structures. Now, when we study about close-packed structures, we consider the constituent particle as a hard sphere. So, the constituent particles are considered as a sphere. Now, we can have close packing in 1 dimension, 2 dimension and 3 dimension. So, let us see the close packing in 1 dimension. First one is close packing in 1 dimension. Now, in 1-dimensional close packing, the spheres are arranged in a row in such a way that each sphere is in contact with other spheres. So, when we show or when we draw the close packing in 1 dimension, spheres are in contact with other spheres and we are drawing the spheres in a row. So, this is close packing in 1 dimension. And here you can see each sphere is in contact with 2 other spheres. So, here comes a term called coordination number. Now, what do you mean by coordination number? Coordination number is the number of nearest neighboring particles. So, you can see the coordination number for 1-dimensional close packing will be equal to 2. Why is it 2? Because each sphere is in contact with 2 other spheres. So, this is about 1-dimensional close packing. Now, let us see close packing in 2 dimension. So, the second type of close packing is close packing in 2 dimension. Now, when we study close packing in 2 dimension, we are stacking or we are placing another row in the 1-dimensional close packing. So, if we have, and there are 2 ways of arranging the spheres in 2-dimensional close packing. So, let us discuss the first method of placing the spheres in 2-dimensional close packing. So, under close packing in 2 dimensions, we have 2 methods. The first method. In the first method, we have the spheres in 1 row. This is our 1-dimensional close packing structure. Now, we are going to place a second row. And when you place a second row, we can see that the spheres of the second row are aligned horizontally as well as vertically with the spheres of the first row. So, when you place the second row spheres, it should be aligned exactly with the spheres of the first row. Now, the third row, when you place, again that should also be aligned with the spheres of the first and second row. Now, you can see, if you can call the first row as A type, second row it can also be called as A type, third row can also be called as A type, 4, 5, 6, all the rows can be called as A type. So, we can call this type of close packing as AAA type of close packing. So, this is one method of placing the rows of spheres in 2 dimension, that is keeping the other rows exactly in alignment with the first row, and we get the type, that is AAA type of arrangement. Now, let us find out the coordination number of AAA type of close packing. You can see, take any sphere, you can see that if you take this sphere, it is in contact with 4 spheres. So what is the coordination number of AAA type of packing? It is equal to 4. Coordination number is equal to 4. Again, if I join the center of these nearest spheres, you get the shape of a square. So we can call this type of packing or arrangement as square close packing. Square close packing, and this is in 2 dimension. And what is the coordination number of square close packing in 2 dimension? Coordination number is equal to 4. So this is one method of arranging the spheres in 2 dimension. Now let's see what is the second method of arranging the spheres. So this was A. Now we are going to discuss B. Now in the second method, I have first the one-dimensional close pack structure, that is the spheres in a row. Now this is suppose A. Now when I place the second row, I am going to place it in the depressions of the first row. Depressions of the first row means I will be placing it here. These are the depressions of the first row. So is the second row in alignment with the first row? No. So you cannot call the second row as A. We call it as B. Now when you place the third row, you can see that the third row is in alignment with the first row. So when we place the third row, again you will get like this, alignment with the first row. So what can you call this row? This is again named as A. Now the fourth row when you place, that will be kept in the depression of the third row. So you call this as B type. Okay, now what can you call this type of arrangement? We can call this as AB type of close packing or arrangement. Now let us calculate the coordination number of this type of arrangement, that is AB type in 2-dimensional close packing. You take a sphere and now you take this sphere, you can see it is in contact with 1, 2, 3, or you take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you take this sphere, it is in contact with 6 neighboring spheres, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what is the coordination number of this type of arrangement? Coordination number is equal to 6. And when I join the center of these spheres, what is the shape I get? I get the shape of a hexagon. So you can also call this type of arrangement as hexagonal close packing in 2 dimension. And what is the coordination number of hexagonal close packing in 2 dimension? Coordination number is equal to 6. And when we compare the efficiency of square close packing and hexagonal close packing, you can see that hexagonal close packing is more efficient, which means the empty spaces are very less in hexagonal close packing because the spheres are placed in the depressions of the first layer. So there is less free empty space in hexagonal close packing. So we say that hexagonal close packing in 2 dimension is more efficient than square close packing. Okay. Now again you are going to see a new term or a word that is called voids. Now voids means the empty spaces present in packing. So you can see here these are all voids. these empty spaces. All these are voids. Now, you can see in hexagonal close packing, the shape of the void is triangular. So, we have in hexagonal close packing, we have triangular voids. And there are two types of triangular voids. You can see in one type, that is here if you see, you can see that the apex of the triangle is pointing downwards. See this? And here you can see the apex pointing upwards. So, two types of voids we observe. Triangular voids are observed in hexagonal close packing. In one type, the apex of the triangle pointing upwards, and the other, the apex of the triangle pointing downwards. So, voids means empty spaces present in close packing. So, this is about two-dimensional close packing. We have two types of two-dimensional close packing. One is square close packing and the second is hexagonal close packing. Square close packing, coordination number is equal to 4, and hexagonal close packing, the coordination number is equal to 6. Now, next let us see the close packing in 3 dimension. So, number 3 is close packing in 3 dimension. Now, when you study the close packing in 3 dimension, we are going to keep a layer over the first layer. So, now we have with us a layer, first layer, that layer is of 2-dimensional close packing. Now, on that first layer, we are going to place a second layer. It is not the row we are going to place, we are going to place a layer. Again, there are 2 ways of 3-dimensional close packing. The first one is 3-dimensional, because we have 2 types of 2-dimensional close packing, there is square close packing and hexagonal close packing. So, we have again 2 types of 3-dimensional close packing. One is 3-dimensional close packing from 2-dimensional square close packing, and the second is 3-dimensional close packing from 2-dimensional hexagonal close packing. So, let us first see 3-dimensional close packing from 2-dimensional square close packing. Now, here you know how a square close packing in 2 dimension takes place. This is our square close packing in 2 dimension. Now, we are going to place a second layer on this layer, first layer. So, this is our first layer. We are going to place a second layer over this. When we place the second layer is placed exactly in alignment with the first layer. So, if we can call the first layer as A type, we can call the second layer as A type, third layer also as A type. So, what type of arrangement we have here? We have here AAA type of arrangement. AAA type of arrangement in 3-dimensional close packing. Okay, and in 3-dimensional close packing, the lattice generated is simple cubic lattice, and its unit cell is primitive unit cell, and the coordination number of a simple cubic lattice is equal to 6. So, simple cubic lattice, the coordination number is equal to 6. Now, the second type of 3-dimensional close packing is 3-dimensional close packing from 2-dimensional hexagonal close pack layers. So, the second type, that is B, is 3-dimensional close packing from two-dimensional hexagonal close packing. Now, you know the two-dimensional hexagonal close packing. How is it done? Two-dimensional hexagonal close packing. We have AB type. Means this is our first row. I am drawing the two-dimensional close packing now. Now I have the second row, that is B, which are kept in the depressions of the first row. Now again, next I have A type, which are aligned with the first row. After that I have B type, which are placed in the depressions. So this is our hexagonal close packing in two dimension. Now we are going to discuss about three-dimensional close packing from two-dimensional hexagonal close packing. Again, you can see that I am going to place the second layer on this layer. Now, when I place the second layer on this layer, on the first layer, I place it in such a way that, I place it in such a way that the spheres of the second layer are placed in the depressions of the first layer. So when I place, I am going to place a second layer. How will I place? The spheres of the second layer are placed in the depressions. These are the depressions. Means that empty spaces, voids of the first layer. So how can I place it? I'll place it here, like this. Okay, now again we have more layers in the depressions, like this. Now you can see here two types of voids are generated. When you place a second layer on the depressions of the first layer, two types of voids are generated. Now you can see here that not all the triangular voids, and here you know in two-dimensional hexagonal close packing we had triangular voids, and when you place a second layer on the first layer, we can see not all the triangular voids are covered by the second layer. Now those voids which are covered by the second layer, there we get another void which is called a tetrahedral void. So you can see in the figure, this is the tetrahedral void. That is when we place the voids which are covered by the second layer, that is our tetrahedral void. And they are called tetrahedral voids because a tetrahedron is formed when we join the centers of these spheres. And what is the coordination number of this tetrahedral void? Coordination number will be equal to 4. Okay. Now next you can see the other voids which are not covered by placing the second layer. We call those voids as octahedral voids. Octahedral voids. So other than tetrahedral voids, the voids which are not covered, they are called octahedral voids. These are octahedral voids. Okay. So octahedral voids, they are called octahedral voids because when we join the centers of the spheres, we get the shape of an octahedron. But the octahedral voids coordination number, when we hear, we feel that it is 8. It is not 8. Octahedral voids coordination number is equal to 6. Okay, because each sphere is surrounded by 6 other spheres. So coordination number will be equal to 6. Now we can say that in three-dimensional hexagonal close packing we get two types of voids. One is tetrahedral void and the other is octahedral voids. Now there is an expression to find out the number of tetrahedral and octahedral voids. Suppose the number of close packed spheres is equal to capital N, then number of octahedral voids will also be equal to capital N, and number of tetrahedral voids will be equal to 2n. So you can see the number of tetrahedral voids is more than the number of octahedral voids. So this is about placing a second layer over the first layer in three-dimensional close packing. The hexagonal close packing in 3 dimension, we get 2 voids, tetrahedral and octahedral, and if the number of close packed spheres is equal to capital N, then the number of octahedral voids present will also be equal to capital N, and the number of tetrahedral voids will be twice the number of octahedral voids. Thank you.